very special person throwing out the first pitch tonight.
Good evening. We are live here at Covenant Christian Academy's Southland Field, Big Cho Teton Park for the Division IV Select State Playoffs between Covenant Christian Academy and Sacred Heart. Casey Gisclair here. Honored to be with you all on a damp and rainy night here from Houma, Louisiana. For Sacred Heart, they're hoping that their journey continues all the way to Sulphur. The same thing could be said about CCA. Sacred Heart, their starting lineup is as follows. Hayden Deschatel is the shortstop, number 4. The left fielder, Ike Perry, number 22, is batting second. Batting third, the catcher, Preston Sloan. Batting cleanup, the second baseman, Wade Petrie. Batting fifth, the first baseman, John Swallow. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Parker Fuchs. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Ellis Fuselier. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Boyce Scheck-Snyder. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Landon LeBlanc. They're scoring runs tonight for Jackson Bruni, the pitcher for Sacred Heart. For CCA, on the mound tonight, one of their guys, Brendan Champagne. He's on the mound. He has been outstanding all year. Catching him, Peyton Trosclair. At first, Evan Duplantis. At second, Mason Dudek. At short today, Tristan Rogers. At third, Owen Trosclair. In the outfield from right to left and right, Nate Loop. In center, Carson Hebert. And in left, Kason Perry. Mentioned a second ago, it is a damp night. It is not ideal conditions. The temperatures are in the upper 70s, but it is drizzling a little bit. We'll see if that'll play a factor before we wrap things up here today from Houma. So super happy to have you guys on Bayou Sports today. Expecting a big old audience, and we thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Always a joy to cover playoff baseball. Always a joy to have local teams competing in the postseason. Warm-up tosses are being made by Champagne on the mound. Coach Teton told us on radio earlier this week the plan is for Champagne to go until Champagne can't go anymore, and then after that it's going to be Trosclair, who's next up. Let's rock and roll here from Houma, Louisiana. Deschatel will stand in. We got a ton of sponsors to thank. We'll get to that throughout the course of the broadcast. It is a drizzly night, but the weather's not supposed to cause any type of postponement. It is supposed to just stay a drizzle. The first pitch of the game is a breaking pitch inside, 1-0. Starting right at 6 o'clock, right on time here from Houma. Deschatel is the shortstop for Sacred Heart. The 1-0 is low, 2-0. Tell you what, there's a big old crowd here, and a lot of them are rooting for Sacred Heart. They traveled very well. The 2-0 pitch. Breaking pitch for a called strike, and it's 2-1. Good-looking pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike to the first batter of the game. That one's cut on and missed, and it's 2-2. In the top of the first inning, the stakes are simple. The winner of this game goes to Sulphur. The loser of this game goes home. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Champagne delivers. Got him. There's one away. Ideal start to this game for CCA, getting a strikeout to the first batter. And that, as always, as every strikeout this season, that's a State Bank strikeout. We thank them so much for their support. Ike Perry will stand in. Champagne recorded the first out of the game via the K. Let's see if he could keep it rolling. Pitch. Breaking pitch. Chopped foul. 0-1. Tell you what, Champagne's hook in the early stages seems to be on. When that pitch is on, it's usually pretty tough to hit him. Ike Perry will stand in. The 0-1 is inside. 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Breaking pitch is chopped down the line. Nope, foul. Off of the batter. 1-2. Trickled out there to the third baseman, but it was a foul ball. And it'll be 1-2. The drizzle has become a little bit more of an annoyance. It is raining a little harder now here at CCA. The 1-2. Breaking pitch, chop foul, and we'll do it over. And it'll stay 1 ball and 2 strikes in the top of the first inning. Champagne delivers. Breaking pitch wide, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Popped up. Should be routine, but you got to fight the rain. Rogers out there. Short wants it, and he's got it. 2 away. So 2 early outs. That sets up Preston Sloan. Sloan will stand in. CCA getting their defense organized. That's one thing that Coach Joe is so good at, getting his guys in the right position defensively to make plays. Champagne delivers a hard hit ball right up the middle. There's the first hit of the game. A wide turn at first, and it gets by the center fielder. Now they're waving him to third. We got a play at third, and he's going to score because the ball goes into the dugout. So Sacred Heart is on the board, and they have struck first. It's going to be a base hit, and then 2 errors on the center fielder. Well, actually 1 error on the center fielder, and then an error on the relay throw, and it's 1-0 Sacred Heart. Now Wade Petrie will stand in. Breaking pitch wide, 1-0. Tough luck there for CCA, and Joe's going to go talk to Champagne, and I think Joe's going to just tell him, hey, settle down, brother. All you've given up is a single. Trying to slow the momentum of the game down. But Sacred Heart comes on the road and does exactly what road teams want to do. They strike first. It'll be a 1-0 count to Wade Petrie when play resumes. Joe's got the hat off, making the slow walk back into the dugout. A hard hit base hit up the middle from Preston Sloan, and then a couple of errors allows him to come around to score. The 1-0. That is inside and low, 2-0. Didn't miss by a whole lot there on that one, the 2-0. Low, 3-0. Three balls and no strikes, and he missed on 4, so it's a 4-pitch walk, and Sacred Heart will have another base runner. Swallow will stand in, the designated hitter, or it should be the first baseman, my apologies. See if Champagne could settle down on the mound and get the third out. The pitch. It's chopped foul into the dugout. It's 0-1.
Hang in there, babe. Be a fighter, be a fighter.
The top of the first inning, you could hear the Sacred Heart fans making some noise behind us. They have traveled here in droves. They throw back, and the runner's in safe at first. It is a steady drizzle here. It's supposed to stay a steady drizzle pretty much the entire game. The 0-1. Check swing, and he went around 0-2. The one thing that the line of thunder showers does not seem to have is any lightning, so we should not, and I knock on wood as I say that, we should not have any type of delay. Runner at first, the 0-2, break and pitch, and it's a called strike 3, and that'll retire the side. But Sacred Heart gets on the board, and they lead 1-0. CCA will be coming to play with their first turn. But first, let's thank some of our sponsors here on Bayou Sports.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the services you need and the local support you deserve. From operating your front office to tracking your inventory, our team is ready to deliver services that transform your day-to-day with flexibility and consistency, so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Rev Business.
Certainly want to thank Rev for their support. We also want to thank Four Horsemen Tackle so much. Ashley Barrios, State Farm Agent, 192 Highway 3161 in Cutoff. Give her a call today, 985-632-0988. How about the Gin Gators? The Gin Gators are a new member of our Bayou Sports team. We thank them so much. Look, this is an old ad that I'm about to show you, but Lafourche Parish Fire District 3 wants to thank all of the people in our local community for their support. They did get their millage passed. Chief Didon and the crew out there want to thank everybody so much for their support. We want to thank Infinity Energy Services, LLC, for their support of Bayou Sports, and also Danos. They're hiring today. Join their team. Open positions, guard coordinator at Port Fourchon, offshore production operator, and land offshore warehouseman in Harvey. Send your resume today at irecruit@danos.com. It's 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. CCA will get their first turn at the plate, but they're going to be facing a mean arm by the name of Jackson Bruni. At Sacred Heart, he is a good one. He is a LSU Eunice commitment, but CCA's lineup is awfully good too. Peyton Trosclair will be leading off. He's the catcher. Batting second, the center fielder Carson Hebert. Batting third, the third baseman Owen Trosclair. Batting fourth, the pitcher Brendan Champagne. Batting fifth, the shortstop Tristan Rogers. Batting sixth, the right fielder Nate Loop. Batting seventh, the first baseman Evan Duplantis. Batting eighth, the left fielder Kason Perry. And batting ninth, the second baseman Mason Dudak. Bruni's first pitch is high, 1-0. The Lions have an extremely opportunistic offense. Trosclair is at the head of that. The 1-0 is outside, 2-0. Don't think he's going to be swinging until Bruni throws a strike. The 2-0 is a called strike, and it's 2-1. So CCA ahead in the count, but Bruni delivers his first strike of the ball game. It's the pitch to Trosclair. Is a called strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Talking to Sacred Heart's coach, Bruni's going to stay in the upper 80s. He's going to throw hard. He's going to throw a lot of strikes. And he's been their guy all year. The 2-2, swing and a miss, and there's one away. So a really good pitch to Trosclair. And now Carson Hebert will stand in. For Sacred Heart, pitching is Bruni. Catching him is Sloan. At first, you got Swallow. At second, Petrie. At short, Deschatel. At third, Schneider, as that is a called strike, 0-1. In the outfield from right to left, in right you got Fuchs. In center you got LeBlanc. And in left you've got Perry. That one's cut on a miss, 0-2. Bruni is throwing some gas in the early stages of the game here. CCA having a hard time catching up. Hebert's behind in the count, 0-2. The pitch. Wide, 1-2. One ball and two strikes with one out. Sacred Heart leads 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Bruni delivers. High, 2-2. I know one thing that CCA is going to want to do today. They're going to want to run up that pitch count and ideally try to chase Bruni out of the game. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. And it's his second strikeout of the game. Now Owen Trosclair will stand in. So a great start to the game for Bruni. And Owen Trosclair, the third baseman, will stand in. It's high 1-0. Trosclair is the twin brother of Peyton Trosclair. CCA, of course, a young team, only one senior on this team. That's a called strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Tell you what, a knock on wood, as I say this, the drizzle has mostly stopped here in the bottom of the first inning. Hopefully it stays that way. The 1-1 is a called strike, 1-2. So Bruni is one pitch away from striking out the side in the bottom of the first inning. Trosclair will try to put it in play. The 1-2. Hit in the air on the right side. Will the park hold it? The catcher going for it, and he dives and makes the play. And that will retire the side. The wind played some tricks on that foul ball, but Sacred Heart gets out of the first inning. We're going to the second. It's 1-0 in favor of the road team. Let's thank some of our sponsors. My Nanny, Mima's Cajun Cuisine. Nanny, we love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Yesterday, you guys missed it. Yesterday was a Lasagna Wednesday at Mima's. If you are in the Golden Meadow area, go stop by her new location and get some of the best food that you'll have in Southeast Louisiana. Also want to thank our good friends at State Bank and Trust Company. Proud to be the spokesperson for State Bank and Trust Company. Mr. Charles does such a great job there, and they do so much to support our efforts to promote local high school athletics. And we also want to thank the law office of Jure Jambon Jaro, LLC, attorney and notary. Give her a shout today for all your legal needs, 985-693-3308, or shoot her an email, jure.jambon@gmail.com. We want to thank Terrebonne General Health System and the Community Sports Institute for all of their support of our coverage of high school athletics. And how about also Dufresne Building Materials? Go experience the Dufresne difference with our friends over at Dufresne. For Sacred Heart, it's going to be Fuchs, Fuselier, and Schneider batting in the top of the second inning against Brennan Champagne. They have a one-run lead. Champagne's pitch is low, 1-0. A lot of the umbrellas have gone away as the rain for the time being has slowed. Champagne's pitch. Inside corner for a called strike, 1-1. I'm going to put down my mic for this pitch to get a couple of pictures. I'm not even going to lie to you. That one is cut on and missed, 1-2. Foul ball into the screen, and it'll stay 1-2. One ball and two strikes. Breaking pitch. Hit off of the pitcher. Goes to Rogers at short. Makes the play, but they'll say the first baseman is off the bag. So it ricochets off of Champagne. Goes to Rogers, and the umpire says that the throw took the first baseman off of the bag. So it'll be a leadoff base runner for Sacred Heart. Now Ellis Fuselier will stand in. Champagne takes a look at the runner, and he'll throw over, and he's back safe. Tell you what, it's actually a pretty nice night here. If you could get past the drizzle and the mist, it's not pretty comfortable temperature. It could be really warm and muggy. That one is fouled on the right side, and it's 0-1. No balls and one strike. Got some students out there in right center field enjoying the action tonight. Champagne throws over, and the runner's back safe. Joe giving some instructions to his defense. Coach Tristan Rogers instructs the pitchers, giving the call to the catcher, who relays it to Champagne. The 0-1. They show bunt, stab at it, and can't get it down. It's 0-2. So now, do they keep the bunt on 0-2? That becomes the million-dollar question. If I were a betting man, I would say he's going to be swinging here. Let's find out together. The 0-2, he is swinging, and it's low, 1-2. Champagne trying to get the first out of the second inning. That's hit on a line. There's a base hit. So, Sacred Heart has a couple of men aboard with no one out. And now you're going to have another bunt situation for Sheck Snyder. Boyce, I said Sheck Snyder. It's just Boyce Schneider. The third baseman. Runner at first and second, no out. This is a dead red bunting situation. Let's see if A, he could get it down. Let's see if CCA could field it properly if he does. A big spot here. The Lions are already down a run. They don't want to fall behind any further against Bruni. Champagne's pitch. He is bunting, and he does get it down. The pitcher will go to first in time for the out, but it's a clean sacrifice for Sacred Heart. And there will be runners at second and third now with one out. But the 9-hole hitter will stand in, LeBlanc. Landon LeBlanc, big spot here. 9-hole hitter trying to come through and add to Sacred Heart's early lead. The infield playing in at first base. The Lions trying to cut off that run at home on a ground ball to the right side. The pitch to LeBlanc is wide, 1-0. Would Sacred Heart try to bunt again? Maybe try to sacrifice one home. Pitch, he is bunting, he pops it up, and a caught by the catcher. What a play that time by Trosclair, and there's two away. Outstanding hustle, made his way all the way back to the fence, and that's a big second out for the Lions. The leadoff batter, Deschatel, will stand in. He struck out swinging his first time up. So the Lions are not out of the trouble yet. The pitch, that's low, 1-0. Runner at second and third. This is a big momentum spot in the game right here. If CCA could get out of this, there's a called strike, 1-1. Two on, two out in the top of the second inning. Champagne's pitch is low, 2-1. To Hayden Deschatel, the pitch. That's foul, and it's 2-2. The Trojans of Sacred Heart trying to add to their lead. The Lions of CCA trying to stop the bleeding right here. In the top of the second inning, a big spot early. Champagne has the ball working out of the windup. He's got the one that he likes, the 2-2. Chopped on the right side, gloved by Dudek, and he booted it. Dudek had an opportunity to make what should have been a routine play, and he kicked it, and it's 2-0 Sacred Heart. Some uncharacteristic mistakes from the Lions in the early stages, and Sacred Heart has a 2-run advantage. You feel for Champagne. If not for the errors, this is a 0-0 ball game. But Ike Perry will stand in with eyes on doing even more damage. Champagne's pitch popped up. Chasing it down near the dugout and squeezed, and that will retire the side. But Sacred Heart gets another run. It's 2-0. CCA going to be batting, trying to do some damage of their own in the bottom of the second, but let's thank some of our sponsors here. Joe Septic Contractors Incorporated. They're on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for all your fencing and septic needs. We thank Joe Septic so much for everything that they do. Lady of the Sea General Hospital, compassionate medicine close to home. They are a day one supporter of Bayou Sports, and we thank them so much for everything that they do. We also want to thank Gulf Coast Orthopedics, one of our day one sponsors as well, our primary corporate sponsor for the 2023 and 2024 school year. We thank Gulf Coast Orthopedics so much for what they do for us. How about DTB Clothing? They are our Player of the Week sponsor, and any gear that you see that we have, Abby and I is rocking that from DTB. We are proud supporters of DTB. Golden Motors, where price is priority. Go visit them in Cutoff on the back road, www.goldenmotors.com. If you're in a pinch and need a little extra cash, a Bon Terre Credit, go visit them today and get yourself taken care of. CCA will be batting in the bottom of the second inning, down a couple of runs. It's going to be Champagne, Rogers, and Loop against Jackson Bruni. Two runs is not a whole lot for CCA to overcome. The problem is Jackson Bruni's so tough on the mound. So we move to the bottom of the second inning here from Homa. And again, that rain mostly stopped so far. It was drizzling early. It's kind of chilled out a little bit. Bruni's pitch to Champagne is cut on and missed, 0-1. We get any scores from Vanderbilt, we will give you an update. The 0-1 is low, 1-1. No, Champagne would love to get on base. You know, he's a little frustrated. He's pitched better than the 2-0 score would indicate. The 1-1. Inside corner for a strike, 1-2. Champagne thought it was going to hit him, but just a little backup run there. That pitch dropped right into the basket from Bruni. The 1-2. That one's hit foul, and it'll stay 1-2. The Lions were behind in the bottom of the fifth inning in their opening playoff game against Catholic Appointee, and they never blinked. So you know that the deficit's not going to shake them at all. But you're facing a tough customer on the mound. That one's high and inside, 2-2. Tristan Rogers, the only senior on the team, is on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bruni's pitch, high, and it's full. So a good battle brewing, pitcher versus pitcher here. CCA would love to get a base runner. It would be their first base runner of the game. Bruni was ahead. Now it's even at 3-2. Popped foul into the screen, and it'll stay full. Champagne fighting him. Here in the bottom of the second inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bruni delivers. That's high, and it's a leadoff walk. So a good at-bat to start off the inning, and Champagne reaches safely. Now Tristan Rogers will stand in. CCA is going to run for Champagne with number 11. We could tell you on our lineup cards who number 11 is. Number 11 for CCA is Cooper Arsenault. That is the runner. And Tristan Rogers will stand in here in the bottom of the second. There's a called strike, and it's 0-1. Bruni takes a look at the runner, and now he steps off. Big old lead by Arsenault there. See if he'll get moving. A scoreboard update. E.D. White leads Vanderbilt 1-0 out there across town. So the Cardinals have a 1-run lead after the first inning. The 0-1 high. And it's 1-1.
Work on, Bruni.
Tristan Rogers with an even count. CCA has their first base runner of the game. Arsenault has a huge lead over there. He's not going. The pitch is outside, 2-1. Two balls and one strike. The Lions are threatening here after falling behind by a couple. Bruni's pitch is a called strike, and it's 2-2. An even count. Rogers trying to deliver. Bruni takes a deep breath, comes to the plate, swing and a miss. And there's one away. Some high heat. And it's another strikeout. Now Nate Loop will stand in, the right fielder. And the rain has started to pick up a little bit again. Loop the lefty. That one's high, 1-0. At some point in the inning, will the Lions come with a hit and run or straight steal? Arsenault has a huge lead over there at first. Not going on this pitch, which is a called strike, 1-1. I'll try to tilt the camera here and show you the lead Arsenault has. I mean, he is got a massive lead out there. And they finally do throw back, and he's in safe. It is a windy day. The wind appears to be blowing across the field. Doesn't seem to be blowing in or out. The 1-1. That's chopped on the right side. Base hit. So the Lions have their first hit of the day, and they'll have a couple runners aboard. Luke comes through. And that's going to set up Evan Duplantis. Duplantis is the first baseman for CCA. And now we'll see how Bruni handles having a little pressure on him for the first time tonight. 2 on and 1 out in a 2-0 ball game. The Lions are threatening for the first time tonight. See if CCA could break through and give this home crowd something to cheer about. Bruni's pitch. Hit him. The bases are loaded. CCA cooking with grease here. The bases are now loaded for Kason Perry. 1 out, and there's a Lion on every base in the bottom of the second inning for Kason Perry. And there's going to be a mound visit. They're going to go talk to Bruni, try to get him right. While they have the mound visit, let's scroll through and thank some of our sponsors. We want to thank Synergy Bank, member FDIC, so much for their support. We thanked them earlier, but heck, let's thank them again. Infinity Energy Services, we thank them so much for everything that they do for Bayou Sports. And a reminder, get to see some photos and some interviews after the game over at BayouSports.com. I messed up our website on our own graphic. That's BY-U Sports. In between innings, I'm going to fix that. I got my own damn website wrong on my graphic here. Back to action here. Bruni's pitch is wide, 1-0 to Perry. There's no place to put him. A huge spot in the game here in the bottom of the second inning. See if CCA could deliver a timely hit. Bruni delivers a 1-0. That's a called strike. It's 1-1. The Lions are working up Bruni's pitch count. But now, can they give him a couple of runs? The 1-1 is a called strike on the outside corner, 1-2. With 2 strikes, can Perry deliver? In the bottom of the second inning, the bases are loaded. He just needs to put this ball in play anywhere. Here it is. Got him. Big second out. Perry strikes out, and now Mason Dudak will stand in. The 9-hole hitter Dudak with an opportunity to deliver a big blow. For Sacred Heart, it's a chance to get out of big trouble. Bruni has had the strikeout pitch working so far. The pitch to Dudak is outside, 1-0. Some of these Sacred Heart fans didn't like the call. I thought it was outside. I'm literally standing right behind home plate. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Same spot. No place to put Dudak, and Peyton Trosclair is on deck. So this is a dangerous spot for Bruni. In the bottom of the second with 2 outs and the bases loaded, the 2-0 pitch is a called strike right down the middle, 2-1. Bruni has thrown a lot of pitches in the second inning, but CCA needs to have another batter reach safely to do some damage here. 2 balls and 1 strike. Outside, it's 3-1. Another one out of the zone will plate a run. The 3-1 pitch, he's taken, and it's high, and the Lions are on the board. So it's an RBI walk for Mason Dudak, and CCA is on the board. And now Peyton Trosclair will stand in with a chance to do some big damage. The bases are still loaded. And now you're dealing with the leadoff batter. If Trosclair delivers a hit here, this place is going to come unglued. They are looking for a reason to come unglued as it is. Bruni better start delivering some strikes. The pitch is a breaking pitch for a strike, 0-1. Trosclair was taken. The leadoff batter for CCA trying to deliver a clutch hit. Bruni's 0-1. Outside, 1-1. The Trojan fans are arguing with those calls. That pitch is 6 inches off the outside corner. I don't know what type of umpiring they have in their association, but if they give you that for a strike. The 1-1. That's high and outside, 2-1. No griping that time. 2 balls and 1 strike. The bases are still loaded. Trosclair ahead in the count. Bruni's pitch. There's a ball in the outside corner, 3-1. Another one out of the zone will be another run. The 3-1. Inside for a strike, it's 3-2. So now we got the old merry-go-round pitch. Everybody's going to be moving on the pitch. So if he puts it in play, boy, it could be big trouble for Sacred Heart. Bruni trying to get out of the second inning. A deep breath, and the 3-2. Swing and a miss, and he retires the side. But CCA does get 1 run closer. We're going to the top of the third. It's 2-1. Let's go ahead and thank some of our sponsors here. Thank you so much for watching on Bite.
Education, prevention, care. The Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute was recognized by the Louisiana Athletic Training Association with the President's Award for Excellence in Health and Safety. With a passion for ensuring the well-being of over 23,000 student athletes and covering 1,400 sports events annually, our athletic trainers are dedicated to providing the best care in sports medicine. Discover more about Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute at tghealthsystem.com.
Rev Business is connecting companies from the bayou to the river to the lake with the technology, expertise, and uniquely homegrown support that only Rev Business can deliver. From internet and hosted phone to managed Wi-Fi and Metro E, our best-in-class services are tailored to your needs, backed by in-house support and a local team devoted to keeping your business up and running. Visit us at letsrev.biz. Rev Business.
Welcome back here on Bayou Sports, as we want to thank Rev, of course, for their support. About the Gin Gators. Oh, Travis and the crew, we thank them so much. They're one of our newer sponsors. We thank Travis so much for everything that he does for the community in general. But, of course, the Gin Gators are your go-to. If you got any needs for a generator, hurricane season's right around the corner, and it's supposed to be an active hurricane season. So give them a call today. We want to thank thank Dufresne Building Materials. Experience the Dufresne difference with so many locations in the area to serve you. And then one more, we want to thank Trapp Chevrolet for their support. I'll play their ad here in just a second. There's our friends at Trapp Chevrolet. First pitch of the inning from Champagne is a breaking pitch outside 1-0. To Preston Sloan, who had that hard hit base hit in the first inning that the lines kind of kicked around a little bit, and he came all the way around to score. It's outside 2-0. It is a tight strike zone today, as you would expect in the postseason. Look, don't give any gifts. These are the best teams in the state. They could throw strikes. Two balls and one strike. Champagne trying to get a big first out against the 3-hole batter. Breaking pitch, cut on and miss. It's 2-2. Good delivery that time. But a big old hack. This one is lined in the center for a base hit. So for the second time today, we have a base hit right up the middle from Preston Sloan. Now Wade Petrie will stand in. He drew a walk his last time up. Time called. And they throw back. The runner is not even barely off the bag. That was just a low excuse me throw. This one is bunted down the first base side, and they get it to the bag, not in time. That's an infield single on a perfectly placed bunt by Petrie, and now they're going to have runners at first and second with no out. And Joe's going to go talk to his defense. Champagne has just been paper cut to death. It has not been a great night for the defense of CCA. Champagne is actually going to be taken out of the game here. We'll tell you the particulars here as CCA is going to the bullpen. But first, let's go ahead and thank some of our sponsors for allowing us to be here on this beautiful night for high school baseball here in Houma.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the services you need and the local support you deserve. From operating your front office to tracking your inventory, our team is ready to deliver services that transform your day-to-day with flexibility and consistency, so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Rev Business.
Let's thank Four Horsemen Tackle here for their support of Bayou Sports. Also, State Farm agent Ashley Barrios. Give them a ring, 192 Highway 3161 in Cutoff, Louisiana. Also, 9560 through 0988. The new CCA pitcher is not a surprise. It's exactly who we thought it was going to be. That is Owen Trosclair. Now, what we do need to figure out is who the new third baseman is going to be and where Champagne's going to be. You know, Champagne's not leaving the game. Looks like Dudek will be the new third baseman. But who's the new second baseman? Is that Sean Pine over there? We'll check on that. Either way, Swallow will stand in. There's runners at first and second and no out. Trosclair coming into a pickle. Delivers one high and wide, 1-0. Trosclair is pitching to his twin brother, Peyton. What an interesting dynamic that is. This one's bunted. The catcher fields it, throws it low, and it's scooped up, and he's off the bag. The bases are loaded, and another defensive mistake by CCA. They had plenty of time to get back on the bag there. I don't know what happened, but boy, just another defensive mistake for the Lions, and the bases are juiced now with no one out. Fuchs will stand in. Trosclair trying to stop the bleeding. That's outside, 1-0. There have been at least 3 or 4 errors for CCA. There's a called strike. And the interesting thing about that is that's so uncharacteristic of them this year. They have not been a poor defensive team, as this one is hit softly. Infield fly called, and that's an unproductive out. So a huge out for Trosclair there, 1 away. Fuselier will stand in. He had a base hit his last time up. Sure, CCA would take a sharp ground ball right at the shortstop. They can maybe get out of this inning with one pitch. Trosclair in the windup delivers. It's a pitch outside, 1-0. Here's 1-0. That's way outside, 2-0. No place to put him. To Ellis Fuselier. In a 2-1 game, the bases are loaded. That's way outside, 3-0. Trosclair's got to come back. There's no place to put him here. There's a called strike, 3-1. See if they're taking again. They were taking the last one. Taken again, and it's a called strike again, 3-2. The Sacred Heart fans don't like the call. They haven't liked any calls yet today. But it's now a full count with 1 out. Trosclair trying to deliver a big second out, the 3-2. Fouled on the right side. A good job there by Fuselier staying alive. Time called. Coach for Sacred Heart is having a discussion that's going to lead to the umpires getting together. I'm curious to see now what they're going to discuss here. It's 2-1, Sacred Heart in the top of the third inning. The bases are loaded. There's 1 out. Trosclair's pitching in relief. Trying to get what would be a huge second out. He just got a pop out to get the first one. Fuselier has plans of getting a base hit here. The 3-2. Walked him. So, Sacred Heart has added a run to their lead. And it's 3-1. Now Boyce Schneider will stand in. Got a scoreboard update in the top of the 5th inning. Central Catholic of Morgan City and Riverside are tied 2 apiece. Thanks to Coach Case for that update, as this one's low, 1-0. CCA has made some defensive mistakes, which has given Sacred Heart some free bases. And that one's a called strike, 1-1. With those free bases, Sacred Heart has taken full advantage. They have scored 1 run in every inning so far. This inning, they have eyes of maybe doing a little more. The 1-1. That's chopped foul on the left side, and it'll be 1-2. A strikeout would be huge for Trosclair. Trosclair has a equipment issue. The 1-2 is high and inside, and it's 2-2. It's the pitch, breaking pitch, chop, base hit. That's through the infield. 1 run will score, the second run being waved around. He will also score, and it's 5-1, Sacred Heart. Timely clutch hitting for the Trojans, and they have ballooned out their lead as now LeBlanc will stand in. That one's rolled foul. And it's 0-1 to Landon LeBlanc. 5-1 the score. Sacred Heart has taken advantage of the opportunities that they have been given. Still a lot of baseball left in this one, though. Shows bunt. Foul, and it's 0-2. Coach Rogers going to fetch that foul ball. Top of the order is on deck for Sacred Heart. It's always a good thing when your leadoff batter will have batted 3 times in 3 innings. The 0-2 is wide, 1-2. Runners at first and second with 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. And they got him picked off. They throw down the 3rd, and he's out. So a base running mistake there by Sacred Heart. They were trying to steal a base, and they instead stolen out. So Trosclair picks him off. The runner at first was standing pat, but CCA gets a critical second out. And that's a base running error there by the Trojans. The 1-2. Woo, just missed. Low, maybe a little out, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes in the top of the 3rd inning. Trosclair delivers. Got him. That is a State Bank strikeout, and that will retire the side. It's now 5-1 Sacred Heart. CCA's got a battle back. They've got some work to do. Let's go ahead and thank some of our sponsors for allowing us to be here today.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the services you need and the local support you deserve. From operating your front office to tracking your inventory, our team is ready to deliver services that transform your day-to-day with flexibility and consistency, so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Rev Business.
So again, as always, we thank Rev so much for their support. Also want to thank Bon Terre Credit. Go visit them today if you are in a pinch. You need a loan. They got some fair rates. They've got some great people out there. Go visit them today for your financial needs. Golden Motors, where price is priority. In Cutoff, Louisiana, www.goldenmotors.com. Abby and I are proud supporters of the DTB Clothing Army. Go visit them today for all your clothing needs. Give Nick and Claire a call. They're going to hook you up with some really awesome looking stuff, and they're going to get it to you in a very, very short amount of time. We want to thank Gray Services, Inc., Mr. Chucky Share, me and the folks out there doing a great job as always. We thank Gray Services, Inc. for their support of Bayou Sports. Go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. CCA will be sending the heart of their order. Hebert, Trosclair, and Champagne against Bruni. A lot of work to do here for the Lions. Down 4. Pitch from Bruni's low, 1-0. CCA has seen the ball well off of Bruni. They stranded the bases loaded in the last half inning. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. That one is a called strike, 2-1. Bruni delivers to Hebert. That is popped up. The park is going to hold it. Who wants it? The catcher calling for it, and he squeezes it. And there's one away. That one was popped straight up in the air. And a good job by the catcher, Sloan, squeezing it. Scoreboard update over at Vanderbilt. The Terriers lead 2-1 over E.D. White. Vanderbilt batting in the third inning, so it's the bottom of the third there. Owen Trosclair will stand in here. Bruni delivers. High, 1-0. Trosclair struck out his first time up. The 1-0 is a called strike, 1-1. Jackson Bruni, an LSU Eunice commitment. He's worked hard to get his outs, but he's got a bunch of strikeouts as that one is hit foul. The left side out of play, and it's 1-2. Oh, man, it almost hit a vehicle actively driving on the road out there. Usually the vehicles that are in the parking lot are in danger, but there was a vehicle driving in the street that nearly got smoked. Trosclair with a 1-2 count. Jackson Bruni trying to record a big second out. Inside, 2-2. Oh, got him. Nope. Late call from the umpire, but he got him. And there's 2 away. Now Brennan Champagne will stand in. He drew a walk his last time up. This would be a big shutdown inning for Sacred Heart if they could have it. It's high, 1-0. The Lions trying to have a 2-out rally in the bottom of the third. Bruni delivers. That's foul. Behind us, out of play, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. The breaking pitch outside, 2-1. To Brendan Champagne. Oh, high and inside, nearly hit him. Usually you would say, oh, you got to wear that one. No, you don't want to get hit in the head. You got to duck out of the way of that one. But it is now a hitter's count to Champagne. Bruni doesn't want to issue a base runner. The pitch is a strike. It's 3-2. Full count to Brennan Champagne. Bruni has worked it full. Popped up. Will the park hold it? They're chasing it down and squeezing it out and left. And that will retire the side. So a good running catch out there by the left fielder, Perry. And that retires CCA 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third inning. We're going to the fourth. It's 5-1 Sacred Heart here on Bayou Sports. Let's thank some of our sponsors. Mima's Cajun Cuisine. Go and visit them, especially on Wednesdays. Every other Wednesday is a lasagna Wednesday. But I promise you, every other day they've got great stuff. Abby loves the chicken gumbo. I love the lasagna. We all love the lasagna. I'm a big fan of the loaded fries. Just about everything at Mima's is ideal, made fresh, and I promise you, you're going to love everything that they got out there. State Bank and Trust Company. Cajun Banking served just the way you like it. Member FDIC. I am a proud state banker, and we thank them so much for their support of Bayou Sports and what we're doing here. Terrebonne General and the Community Sports Institute. We thank Terrebonne General. They're one of our day one sponsors here of Bayou Sports, and we're proud to have them on board. The Law Office of Jure Jean Bonjaro, LLC, attorney and notary. Give her a ring, 985-693-3308 or jure.jambon@gmail.com. And then we also want to thank, Dufresne Building Materials. Go experience the Dufresne difference with so many locations to serve you. And then wherever we be without core physical therapy and sports performance, we thank them so much for their support. Getting late early here, already into the fourth inning. Sacred Heart protecting their advantage. It's going to be Hayden Deschatel, the leadoff batter. He swings and misses at the first one, 0-1. Sacred Heart is taking advantage of some errors, but hey, man, you got to put the ball in play, and that they have. That one's outside, 1-1. Deschatel was a strikeout victim and reached on an error to second. That one's hit in the air to center, and squeezing it for the out is Carson Hebert, one away. So now Ike Perry will stand in. He's 0 for 2 in the afternoon. See if Trosclair could settle down. That's fouled into the screen. I think we're going to see the best of Trosclair for the rest of the way. It's hard to come into a ball game with runners on the bases, and you've been playing in the field. And now that he's got a clean inning to himself, there's a breaking pitch for a strike, 0-2. Can he deliver a State Bank strikeout? Let's find out together. The 0-2 got him. That is a State Bank strikeout and the second out of the inning. Preston Sloan will stand in, and boy, has he been a menace for the Lions. 2 sharp base hits right up the middle. He sees a strike, 0-1. Vanderbilt has taken the lead over E.D. White in the third inning. They lead 2-1. The students out in right field are chanting CCA. There's a lot of game left here, but the Lions are going to have to make it happen. That one's outside, and it's 1-1. A 1-1. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Trosclair has been dealing here in the fourth inning. The 1-2 pitch is got him. That's a State Bank strikeout. Got him looking, a crooked K, and that'll retire the side. So it's a 1-2-3 inning. That's the good news for CCA. The bad news, they got some work to do. They're down 4 runs. But let's go ahead and thank some of our sponsors for allowing us to be here, including Infinity Energy Services, LLC. And why don't we also go ahead and thank Rev, RTC, ETEL, and Vision Communications are now Rev. Been thanking them, playing some of their commercials throughout the game. Gulf Coast Orthopedics. They were our first primary sponsor or our first corporate sponsor of the new school year. We thank Gulf Coast Orthopedics so much for believing in us and what we're doing. How about Edison Schwess Offshore, now hiring vessel positions? Step aboard and secure your future. www.schwess.com/jobs. Another job provider in our area is Joe Septic Contractors Incorporated. On call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for all your fencing and septic needs. About Trap Cadillac Chevrolet, www.trapauto.com. We also want to thank Terrebonne General Health System and the Community Sports Institute. We thank them so much for their support of Bayou Sports. Tristan Rogers will stand in and lead it off for the Lions. Rogers looping Duplantis. This is a part of the order that did do some damage in the second inning. Bruni's pitch is a called strike 0-1. CCA has some work to do here. Bruni's pitch. That's fouled, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Tristan Rogers in the bottom of the 4th inning. Rogers will call time, step out of the box. See if Tristan could deliver a big leadoff hit. Pitch. Outside, 1-2. Bernie's 1-2. Low in the dirt, 2-2. A good job by Rogers, not just giving away the at-bat after falling behind. Two balls and 2 strikes in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Lions trying to make some noise. Time called again. Bruni sure has thrown some pitches here. He's had some stressful at-bats. The 2-2 outside, and it's full. A leadoff man aboard would be exactly what CCA would want, as we have time called again. The 3-2 hit in the air to center on a line, but right at the center fielder. He hardly had to move. So a good job by Tristan Rogers hitting it on a button, but Landon LeBlanc barely had to move out there. And now Nate Loop will stand in. Loop had a base hit to right his last time up. And there's a called strike 0-1. The recipe is pretty simple. When Bruni's in the strike zone, he's really tough. He's fallen behind some guys, but when he's in the zone, look out. This one's foul, and it's 0-2. Nate Loop trying to reach safely, but it's going to be an 0-2 count. He's going to have to battle back from Jackson Bruni. Delivers. Just missed. Oh, my. CCA might have just caught a break there. That one looked pretty good. Just missed. The 1-2. It hit him. So that'll be a base runner. Loop. They're calling him back to the batter's box. Joe is going to, I heard 2 clicks. The ball definitely hit him. Now the umpire may be saying that he didn't make an attempt to move out of the way. They're going to appeal. They're going to confer. I certainly heard a couple of clicks. The ball definitely hit him. The only argument is whether or not he made an effort to move. The call on the field is that it is ball 2. Let's see. And the meeting is short. Oh, the meeting was short, and he's going to hit the first. That's what you want to see from playoff umpires. You want them to meet, and you want them to get the call right. There's no doubt the ball hit him. We heard the 2 clicks. They get it together, and they do get the call right, and it is going to be a hit batter. And now Duplantis will stand in. Speaking of hit batters, he was hit by a pitch his last time up. That hit him. 2 straight pitches lead to 2 straight hit batters. And CCA now has 2 aboard for Kason Perry. Bruni has been his own biggest enemy. He's issued walks, he's hit guys. CCA has not hit him very hard. But Kason Perry will stand in a huge spot. How many more opportunities like this will the Lions get? The big crowd here in Houma looking for a reason to make some noise. Loop over at second has a big old lead, but there's no one holding him on. The pitch is outside, 1-0. Jackson Bruni trying to find the release point after 2 straight hit batters. The 1-0 is a called strike, 1-1. In the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out to Kason Perry, the left fielder. Bruni takes a look at the runner. Now time is called. That one had taken a long time, and time was finally called by the batter. We have already got 1,200 views on this video on Bayou Sports. I cannot thank you enough for the support. That is unbelievable. Changing the game. The 1-1. That's way high. 2-1. And we're hoping that CCA could get a clutch base hit here and start to put some pressure on this Sacred Heart team. Kason Perry is ahead in the count 2-1. Bruni delivers. That's high. It's 3-1. Bruni is in the process of working himself into some big trouble. He's hit a couple of guys, and now he's behind 3-1 to Kason Perry. The top of the order is lurking. Bruni's 3-1. Inside corner for a strike. It's 3-2. There is some activity in the bullpen for Sacred Heart. There's a guy getting loose out there. The 3-2. Got him looking. There's 2 away. Thought it was right down the middle, and certainly way too close for Perry to look at that one. And it's a big second out for Bruni. Now Mason Dudek will stand in. Dudek had an RBI walk earlier in the game. This would be a huge jam for Bruni to get out of. But it would also be a huge spot for Dudek to try to get a big base hit. The pitch, high, 1-0. One ball and no strikes. The pitch to Mason Dudek is high, 2-0. On deck is a guy who with one swing could tie this game. That's Peyton Trosclair. You don't want to face him if you're Sacred Heart. Catcher going to go have a little mound visit with the pitcher. Dudek is ahead in the count. There ain't no way he's swinging until they throw a strike. We'll see if Jackson Bruni could do that, with CCA applying some pressure here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 2-0. is high, 3-0. That's been the miss. On deck is Peyton Trosclair. He could do some big damage if he gets the chance. The 3-0. Walked him. The bases are loaded. Bruni's their guy, but he has pitched himself into some jams here. I don't know how much longer they'll let him go. And there's a mound visit. We'll see if this leads to a pitching change here. Peyton Trosclair will stand in. CCA is just begging to put a crooked number on the board. They have not made a signal that they're getting Bruni out of the game just yet. He has struck out Trosclair twice in the game. So there's that. The visit breaks up, and we'll be playing baseball with Peyton Trosclair standing in. By far the biggest spot of the game if you're a CCA fan right here. The base is loaded. You're down 4 runs. And Trosclair with one swing can make this 5-5. Trosclair has not put the ball in play yet. He's been struck out twice. That could all change with one swing here. Bruni's pitch is a called strike, 0-1. No balls and one strike. There are bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch. That is low, 1-1. On deck is Carson Hebert. The 1-1. High, 2-1. Just don't know if Bruni could throw enough strikes right now. He has pitched himself into a jam. He's hit 2 batters in the inning. He's walked another. The 2-1. Hit in the air. That is right at the center fielder, and they're out of the inning. So CCA hits it on the button, but right at Landon LeBlanc, and for the 2nd inning in the game, they strand the bases loaded. We're going to the top of the 5th. It's 5-1 Sacred Heart here on Bayou Sports. Let's pause and thank some of our sponsors for allowing us to be here today.
Education, prevention, care. The Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute was recognized by the Louisiana Athletic Training Association with the President's Award for Excellence in Health and Safety. With a passion for ensuring the well-being of over 23,000 student athletes and covering 1,400 sports events annually, our athletic trainers are dedicated to providing the best care in sports medicine. Discover more about Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute at tghealthsystem.com.
Welcome back here. We want to thank the Gen Gators so much for their support. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Everybody needs a generator in Southeast Louisiana, right? When that storm comes and it knocks down the power for a day or two, you don't want to be the one stuck in your house in 100-degree weather. Give Travis a call today. Visit the Gen Gators for all your generator needs. Ashley Barrios, State Farm, 192 Highway 3161. In Cutoff, Louisiana. Give her a ring, 985-632-0988. And then one more time, we want to visit Mima's Cajun Cuisine. Nanny, I love you. Hope that everybody out there is doing great today. Mima's is your place for all of the best Cajun cuisine. Sorry about that. A lady just asked me if I was the PA guy. I had to let her know that in the blue building is where they make the PA announcements. Wade Petrie will stand in. He walked and reached on a bunt hit in the top of the 5th inning. Trosclair delivers. That's called strike, 0-1. You just feel like CCA is going to get some chances. They've stranded runners all over the bases. Just got to hold them down. There's a breaking pitch, low, 1-1. For the Lions, the thing that has been lacking is that timely hit. Has a called strike on the outside corner, 1-2. To Wade Petrie. That's low, 2-2. Some of the Sacred Heart fans are pointing out something that is a very good point, is that Trosler gets it and goes. He works very quickly at a laser pace. That one's hit in the air to left, dropping, and under the glove of the left fielder. Kason Perry chased it down, and just another seeing eye single for Sacred Heart. They've got a man aboard. Now John Swallow will stand in with a runner on. Swallow is the 5-hole, reached on an error on a bunt, so he did lay one down his last time up. Pulls it back, and it's a called strike, 0-1. Trosler, his show's bunt, and he gets it down. The pitcher will get it to the bag, and there's one away. So it's a clean sacrifice. But Sacred Heart continuing to keep the pressure on. And now Fuchs will stand in. First pitch is outside corner for a strike, 0-1. We want to thank all of the folks who are watching this video live right now. We're happy to be bringing this one to your living room as a breaking pitch for a strike, 0-2. My statistics tell me we have had more than 1,400 views on this video. That is a number that is just ridiculous, man. That gives me the chills. The 0-2. Time was attempted to be called by Fuchs, but didn't get it, and the pitch is low, 1-2. CCA cannot afford to give up anything more. They're down 4. There's a big old base runner over there at second. Trosler working from in front. They throw back behind the runner at second, but he's in safe. That pitch, got him. That's a State Bank strikeout. And a big second out for CCA. Go ahead and put up the graphic there. Shout out our fine folks at State Bank. We thank them so much for everything that they do. Now Fusilier will stand in. And an RBI walk and a base hit to left. Interesting note here as we await the first pitch, which is low. Both of these teams, the majority of the damage has been done by the bottom of the orders. We've seen a lot of rallies from the 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. I guess that's how you make it to the quarterfinals, right? You have a lineup where everybody's contributing. That one's popped up on the right side. Will the park hold it? Right near the fence. It's out of play. And it's 1-1. Foul ball. The Lions chased it down, but Duplantis couldn't get a squeeze on it, but it just sailed out of play. The Lions are going to have the heart of their order in the bottom of the 5th inning, trying to do some damage. They have stranded the bases loaded twice in the game today. They've got to, at some point, deliver that timely hit. The 1-1 to Ellis Fusilier with a runner at second and 2 outs. Trosler's pitch. It's high, 2-1. Haven't gotten a scoreboard update in a while. Oh, no, just got one. E.D. White leads Vanderbilt 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning out there in Houma. So E.D. White has a 1-run lead. The 2-1. Breaking pitch for a called strike, 2-2. Trosler steps off. Needs one more for Fusilier. He's trying to put it in play and drive in a run. The 2-2. Blocked by the catcher. but it gets by. So the runner will advance 90 feet over to third. Peyton Troscar did a good job keeping it in front, but then he couldn't find it on the ricochet. That allowed the runner to get a dirt read. No harm, no foul. First base is open. But with 2 strikes, you're trying to attack here. The 3-2. Hit in the air. Rogers is under it, squeezes it, and that'll retire the side. Lions got to get to work. They're down 4. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 5-1, Sacred Heart. And that'll give us the opportunity to thank some of our sponsors here. How about Infinity Energy Services, LLC? We thank them so much for their support of Bayou Sports. Danos, they're hiring open positions, yard coordinator out in Port Fourchon, and offshore production operator and land/offshore warehouseman out in Harvey. Send your resume today at irecruit@danos.com. Visit Voltaire Credit for all of your credit needs, as we actually have some news for you here. There's a pitching change. Let's go back to the camera here, because there's been a pitching change here for Sacred Heart. We want to make sure we give it to you. The new pitcher for the Trojans, if I could find my lineup card, is going to be number 2, which is Elliot Fontenot. So Fontenot is the new pitcher. CCA has gotten Bruni out of the game, which is something that Joe and his staff wanted to do, because he's a college arm. You want to get him out. And now does Sacred Heart have enough pitching and relief to get 9 outs? Fontenot makes his tosses. No changes to the defense that I'm aware of, because Bruni wasn't in the field anyway, other than on the mound. It's the heart of the order for the Lions. Hebert, Trosclair, and Champagne. Facing now Elliot Fontenot. Can the Lions take advantage of a new pitcher? Fontenot's first delivery is high. 1-0. The one thing that you notice right out of the gate, Fontenot ain't throwing as hard as Bruni did. Can the Lions square that up? 9 outs is a lot to get. And he hit him. CCA has a leadoff base runner. And Owen Trosclair will stand in. The Trojans have been playing with fire all game long, walking batters, hitting batters. CCA has not yet made them pay. Will this be the inning that changes? Trosclair struck out looking and struck out swinging. He hasn't yet put it in play. Let's see if he could change that here. Another guy with big-time pop. Outside, high, 1-0. Fontenot has delivered 3 pitches. None of them have even been close to the strike zone. The 1-0. Low, not close. 2-0. 4 pitches, all out of the zone. If you're CCA, you're starting to see blood in the water here. Your heart of the order, a pitcher that's working himself into a jam. The 2-0, not close. It hit him, and there's runners at first and second. I'm telling you, there is blood in the water right now for the Trojans. They take Bruni out of the game. Fontenot has faced 2 batters and has not thrown a strike, and his night might already be done. They're getting the second baseman loose right now. That is Wade Petrie. I think he's the next guy. But they're trying to get Fontenot to settle into the game. He has hit 2 straight batters, and now he's got to face the cleanup, Brennan Champagne, with 2 on. At the end of the 5th inning, E.D. White leads Vanderbilt 3-2 out there in Houma. I think they're making the call to the bullpen after this visit. I don't think that they like the body language of Fontenot, and I think at the last second we saw the call to the bullpen. Yep, they are making the change. So the new pitcher is going to be Ashton Duos, number 14, in relief of Fontenot. Fontenot faces two batters, doesn't throw a strike. Duos will now be the new pitcher, and if you're Sacred Heart, the scouting report that I got before the game was, hey, Bruni's our guy, but Bruni is far and away our guy. So we'll see if they could get the 9 outs of relief. Their first effort at it was not promising. Duos will be the next man up. You know what? While he's making his warm-up tosses, let's thank some of our sponsors.
Education, prevention, care. The Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute was recognized by the Louisiana Athletic Training Association with the President's Award for Excellence in Health and Safety. With a passion for ensuring the well-being of over 23,000 student athletes and covering 1,400 sports events annually, our athletic trainers are dedicated to providing the best care in sports medicine. Discover more about Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute at tghealthsystem.com.
I don't know how to say this, and I guess it doesn't matter until we're under the lights, but Ashton Duos has been making his warm-up tosses. He has not even been close to throwing a strike yet, including that one there, which just sailed high. If he doesn't get better than this whenever play resumes, CCA is going to have a big inning. He's thrown 2 wild pitches, and all pitches that have been all over. That was maybe a strike. But he has been up, down, left, right, and we'll see if the Lions could take advantage. There are runners at first and second with no out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brennan Champagne will stand in when play resumes. They are now in the bullpen for the Trojans. And you just sense that a CCA team that has committed a bunch of errors and has stranded a bunch of runners is one swing away from turning this game upside down. Duos, after a rocky warm-up session, delivers a pitch outside 1-0. The pitch to Champagne, who is almost standing on home plate, is a called strike, 1-1. So Duos' warm-up tosses were all over, but that one looked pretty good, and quite frankly, the first pitch didn't miss by much either. So maybe he's finding it. It throws back and nearly throws it away, trying to get it to the second baseman. Good save there by the second baseman, Petrie. 1-1 count to Champagne. The pitch, high, 2-1. CCA has slowed down this game, and they have really started to apply some pressure on the relievers. And now you got a dangerous pitch to a good hitter in the bottom of the 5th inning. The sun is setting here in Houma as we approach the 7:30 hour. Champagne showing bunt. He pulls back and it hit him. The 3rd straight batter in the inning that has been hit by a pitch. And now the bases are loaded for Tristan Rogers. And if you're Sacred Heart, you're hanging on to this lead by a thread right now, because you have pitchers that are not throwing strikes, and you got an offense that's ready to explode. They're on their feet. They're making some noise. The only senior in the lineup, Rogers. And Duos steps off. Duos has stepped off a couple times. He doesn't look comfortable out there. A base hit will make this place go crazy. That's high, 1-0. One ball and no strikes. Outside, 2-0. There's no place to put Tristan Rogers, and this is a helpless feeling if you're Sacred Heart. High, it's 3-0. They have gone to the bullpen, and they can just not get it over the plate right now. If you're Rogers, you could just put the bat down. You're not going to be swinging here 3-0. Can Duos throw a strike and extend the at-bat? The answer to the question is no. It's not even close. And it's 5-2. And now Nate Loop will stand in a 5-2 game, and I think we're going to have another pitching change. Sacred Heart is just trying to throw something at the wall and see what sticks. Duos is going to leave the game. It looks like the new guy will be the first baseman, which may be Swallow. We're going to pause the mics here, just give ourselves a little time. We'll leave the camera rolling, but we'll be right back. We'll tell you who the next guy is in just a second. So the new pitcher for the Trojans is the second baseman, or was the second baseman, now Wade Petrie. Now playing second appears to be number 11, which is Fusilier. He was the designated hitter. If you're Sacred Heart, it's just this simple. You got to find someone who's going to throw strikes. This fifth inning has been hit batter, hit batter, hit batter, RBI walk. I mean, that's not sustainable. You still have a 5-2 lead, but the bases are still loaded and there's no out. Nate Loop will stand in. Loop has thrown some strikes in his warm-up pitches. That's something that, frankly, Fontenot and Duos have not done. So we'll see. It is a 5-2 game. CCA has been trailing throughout, and they are trying to put up a crooked number here. With Nate Loop, who has reached safely twice in the game. He had had a base hit to right and has been hit by a pitch. Wade Petrie, the new pitcher, the third pitcher of the inning, the fourth pitcher of the game. Way high, 1-0. Much of the same for Sacred Heart. The 1-0. Up, 2-0. You just sense that maybe if they could throw a strike, they'll maybe be able to exhale a little bit, but it's become mental now for these Sacred Heart pitchers. The 2-0. There's a called strike, and it's 2-1. Petrie is not throwing as hard as Bruni has. We'll see if Loop can take advantage. The 2-1 way outside, and it's 3-1. There's no place to put him. He has to throw a strike. And he walked him. It's 5-3. And now Evan Duplantis will stand in.
Number 14, Evan Duplantis.
Duplantis has been hit by a pitch twice. 2 are across in the inning for CCA. Still no out. There's a strike, 0-1. A base hit could potentially tie this game. Foul tip into the glove, 0-2. It is the bottom of the order for the Lions. Let's see if Sacred Heart could take advantage of that. An 0-2 count. High, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Petrie delivers. Popped up. That's trouble. Charging in. That's a fair ball. That's going to be an RBI base hit. A seeing eye single to left by Evan Duplantis. A lazy fly ball that just got into left field, and it becomes an RBI hit. The bases stay loaded, and it's now 5-4, and Kason Perry will stand in. And that is not Kason Perry. That is a pinch hitter, Maddox Latala. So Maddox will hit in the bottom of the 5th. Lacheles will stand in. It's a 5-4 game. 3 are across in the inning for the Lions. What a ball game. We told you CCA would have chances. We told you in the last half inning that they would have opportunities. Stranded the bases loaded twice. Now they're delivering. That one's up to Lachela, 1-0. No place to put him. There are still no outs in the inning. There's a strike, 1-1. Now, if you're CCA, though, you could start to think of the small ball game even and try to sacrifice just anything, get the runner in. Tie this game up. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. The sun has actually tried to come out here even as it's setting. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Petrie delivers the 1-2. In the dirt, blocked by the catcher. It's 2-2. Good block by Preston Sloan. Two balls and 2 strikes. Got him. Big first out for Sacred Heart. And there's one away. Mason Dudak will now stand in. Will they ask Dudak to lay one down, try to tie it up? Or can he get a base hit? He swings it well. The pitch. He is bunting. He stabs at it, 0-1. Boy, if Sacred Heart could get out of this and protect the lead, it would be huge. Joe Touton was just hollering at Dudak, get it down and execute. He was not happy with that last effort. The 0-1. Popped up, foul, and it's 0-2. So if for nothing else, the Trojans have found someone who's going to throw some strikes. Three across in the inning. The Lions have gotten themselves back in it. Dudek is behind 0-2 with the bases loaded. The pitch. High, 1-2. Ground ball to the right side. Anything in play will score a run here, you would think. The 1-2. High, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Dudek trying to deliver. High, and it's full. There's no place to put him. And on deck is Peyton Trosclair, the leadoff batter and one of the best players in our area. The full count delivery. Hit foul, and we'll do it over. Three balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. In the bottom of the 5th, this game has taken a turn. It was 5-1 Sacred Heart to start the inning. Now we're tied. And RBI walk, and we've got a new ball game in Houma. And Peyton Trosclair will stand in. How about the grit of these CCA Lions? And Trosclair now with an opportunity to do even more damage. It's 0-0 again in Houma.
Coming to the plate for the Lions, catcher number 2,
Trosclair will stand in. Are you having fun yet? Thanks to the more than 1,600 people who have watched this game so far. You're getting a good one. And you're getting a ball low, 1-0. No advance. In basketball, they call it March Madness. Do we call it May Madness here in a single elimination setting? Trosclair is trying to call it a base hit. The 1-0, high, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes to the leadoff batter. Foul into the screen, but a big old hack. It's 2-1. The bases are loaded. CCA has scored 4 runs in the inning, and they have not gotten a hit in the inning. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. The Sacred Heart fans trying to will their team back into the dugout. The defense has been defending for more than 30 minutes now. Line drive, base hit up the middle. A run will score, and CCA has taken the lead. The second baseman actually kept that ball out of the outfield but didn't have a play, and the Lions have taken the lead on the RBI hit. And now Carson Hebert will stand in with the bases still loaded. You hear the noise they're making. This place has come to life. Their Lions have responded big. Petrie's pitch high, 1-0. No one besides Bruni has been able to consistently get outs for the Trojans. That's low, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes with the Lions now in front. High, 3-0. No place to put him. Carson Hebert sees one. That is a called strike, 3-1. Owen Trosclair on deck. Carson Hebert trying to deliver the 3-1. That's high, it's a walk, and it's 7-5. Time called. I think we're going to have another pitching change. Sacred Heart just doesn't have any arms left, man. They have been walking the park here. 6 are across in the inning. I don't know that they have any other options. They're going to hand the ball off to another pitcher. We're going to go ahead and take a break. The Lions have taken the lead here at home. So the new pitcher for Sacred Heart is the former third baseman, which is Schneider. They're just trying anything that they could muster right now.
Number 1, Owen Truesdale.
Fusilier, who went to second, now moves to third. And Petrie will get back to second as there's a called strike 0-1. So Schneider delivers a strike. The bases are loaded. Owen Trosclair stands in. He sees it outside. CCA has taken the lead. It's 7-5 here. They were down 5-1 about a half hour ago. The 1-1. There's a strike, 1-2. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout. Big second out. So Trosclair is retired. And now Brendan Champagne will stand in.
Number 22, let's be champs.
This would be a huge third out to get if you're Sacred Heart. Keep the game manageable. As popped up, foul out of play, 0-1. If you're CCA and you could deliver a base hit, make it 9-5, something like that, it becomes really tough here. Champagne was hit by a pitch his last time up. That is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. Schneider has come in throwing strikes. And Joe saying there's a balk. They didn't call it. Coach Touton came storming out of the dugout saying that there was a balk. But they didn't get the call. And now, an 0-2. That's hit foul. CCA is trying to get him the balk because the guy at second base is almost standing on third base when the pitches are thrown. They're trying to get him to make a mistake with his footwork. Look at the lead. That is where the shortstop would be. That's the guy on second. That's inside. Runner's coming home. CCA has added a run to their lead. Second run comes around and it's out. So CCA tries to score 2, but they do score 1, and in the inning they score 7. But a bang-bang play gets Sacred Heart out of the inning. It's 8-5 Lions. Champagne will still be batting when play resumes. And now one of the big things that you got to worry about if you're CCA, can Trosclair throw strikes? He's been not pitching for about a half hour. Let's catch a break. CCA's up. Got 6 more outs to get.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the services you need and the local support you deserve. From operating your front office to tracking your inventory, our team is ready to deliver services that transform your day-to-day with flexibility and consistency, so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Rev Business.
Education, prevention, care. The Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute was recognized by the Louisiana Athletic Training Association with the President's Award for Excellence in Health and Safety. With a passion for ensuring the well-being of over 23,000 student athletes and covering 1,400 sports events annually, our athletic trainers are dedicated to providing the best care in sports medicine. Discover more about Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute at tghealthsystem.com.
Let's thank Four Horsemen Tackle for their support. Let's thank the Gin Gators for their support. And let's thank you all at home for the support. We got a ton of people watching this game right now. Schneider will stand in. Trosclair's pitch is inside 1-0. CCA has just come off of a 7-run inning where they have taken the lead. Trosclair gets a quick meeting from his brother as the wind blows our camera. It has gotten windy here tonight, but it has stayed dry. That's high, 2-0. I'm telling you, it's a concern. Trosclair has not pitched for about a half hour. Can he find that release point? The 2-0 popped up foul. And it's 2-1. 6 more outs to get for your CCA Lions, and they could punch a ticket to Sulphur, but Sacred Heart ain't going to go away. That's lined under the glove of the shortstop. What did I tell you? So a base hit for the 8-hole. And that's actually his second hit of the day. That'll lead Landon LeBlanc to stand in. Owen Trosclair will stand in. Landon LeBlanc will be the hitter. 24 is going to run for the Trojans. That is Aaron Cormier is the pinch runner. And that is not a pinch runner. That's a courtesy runner because Schneider is the pitcher right now for the Trojans. So he'll get to go and sit down. You wouldn't think any small ball here for the Trojans. They only got 6 outs to play with. They're going to have to play for a big inning. The pitch to LeBlanc is called strike 0-1. It's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Oh, it just missed 1-1. There's a swing and strike, and it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. They'll throw back, and the runner is in safe. One ball and 2 strikes. Trosclair trying to get the first out of the inning. The pitch, throws back, and the runner's in safe. One ball and 2 strikes. Trosclair delivers. Got him. That is a State Bank strikeout, and it's a big first out of the inning. But now you got to face the top of the order. And that is Hayden Deschatel. Doesn't have a hit, reached on there, flown out to left. Sacred Heart running out of outs. Got 5 outs to play with. And Trosclair throws back, and the runner's in safe. The problem for Sacred Heart is their relief pitching has been very difficult to come by. That's a called strike 0-1. So even if you get a couple of runs, how do you hold down CCA the rest of the game? You just gave up 7 in an inning. That's low, 1-1. But CCA doesn't want to have to deal with that. They want to get a sharp ground ball at the shortstop. Get out of this right here. The 1-1 is low, 2-1. Twin brother, we'll go chat with twin brother. Peyton Trostler going to tell his brother, hey, stop making me dance back there behind the plate. Deschadel ahead in the count, 2-1. Trostler delivers. That's low, 3-1. A walk would be a really good thing for a Sacred Heart team that needs base runners. There's a strike, and it's full. On deck is Ike Perry, the left fielder. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Trostler takes a look at the runner, a deep breath, and he delivers. Just missed, and it's a walk with 1 out. It was a breaking pitch that did not miss by much, but Deschadel reaches, and Coach Joe Touton is already making his way out to the mound. Is that going to be the end of the line for Trostler? We'll see. That's the one thing CCA has, is they've got an army of arms. I think Joe just going to tell Trostler to settle down. Ike Perry will stand in. 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch. Low, 1-0. The luxury that CCA has is they've got a bunch of arms. Dudek could throw. They've got a lot of guys that they could go to. Carson Hebert could throw. And if Trostler doesn't start throwing some strikes, the Lions might have to test one of those options. There's 2 on with 1 out and a 2-0 count to Ike Perry. And I'm telling you, that layoff has affected Trostler. There's a strike. It's 2-1. Trostler delivers. That's low. 3-1. We are playing exclusively under stadium light. The sun has sunken into the western sky. Trostler trying to deliver a strike. He can't, and their bases are loaded. So CCA is doing the same thing that Sacred Heart did in the last inning, and that's walking the park. Preston Sloan will stand in, and I think he might be facing a new pitcher when he does. The Lions are making the call to the bullpen. We'll tell you who the new arm is going to be after this commercial break. It's 8-5, but Sacred Heart is not going quietly into the night. We'll be right back here on Bayou Sports.
Education, prevention, care. The Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute was recognized by the Louisiana Athletic Training Association with the President's Award for Excellence in Health and Safety. With a passion for ensuring the well-being of over 23,000 student athletes and covering 1,400 sports events annually, our athletic trainers are dedicated to providing the best care in sports medicine. Discover more about Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute at tghealthsystem.com.
Carson Hebert is the new pitcher for Covenant Christian Academy. And he's got a tall task. The bases are loaded with one out, and he's got to face the heart of the order for Sacred Heart. And that'll be Preston Sloan, who's got a couple of hits in the game. He's 2 for 3. Big spot here. Can Hebert throw some strikes? That has been the challenge for CCA in this inning. Hell, that has been the challenge for Sacred Heart in the last inning. The offenses are being very patient and are making the pitchers come to the plate. Hebert's first pitch is a swinging strike, 0-1. Check swing, and they said he went around. Hebert has had some big moments on the mound this season for CCA. And he'll step off. The 0-1. Oh, he just missed. Low, 1-1. That was one that did not miss by much. That's a wild pitch there, but no advance. 2 balls and 1 strike with the bases loaded. Can Hebert deliver a big strike 2? Put pressure on the hitter to protect the plate. Sloan is a good hitter, maybe their best. The 2-1, that's outside, 3-1. The wind has really picked up here. And we got a 3 ball and 1 strike pitch. And it's a called strike 2. And now we got some pressure on. A bases loaded, full count pitch from Carson Hebert to Sloan. Fouled into the screen, and we'll do it over. Sloan has 2 hits in the game. None would be bigger than 1 right here. Hebert has other plans. The pitch popped up. Infield fly. That is exactly what the doctor ordered for CCA, and there's 2 away. That is a giant second out. And if the Lions could get out of this inning without anybody scoring, you can maybe start to feel the air come out of the Sacred Heart balloon. But Wade Petrie will stand in first. He is the cleanup hitter for the Trojans. Can Carson Hebert get a big third out here after inducing the pop-up? There's a called strike, 0-1. A huge spot in the game with both teams' seasons on the line. Hebert's 0-1. Outside, 1-1. This is why we do what we do, for moments exactly like this. Hebert delivers a 1-1. Low, 2-1. I just can't shake the idea that Sacred Heart needs at least 1 run here. I just think it would be so deflating to them if they don't score anything in this inning. But Petrie is ahead in the count, 2-1. Fouled on the right side, out of play, and it's 2-2. If he gets a strikeout, they're going to go nuts here in Houma. A State Bank strikeout at that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outside, and it's full. We've got a merry-go-round pitch coming up for Sacred Heart. Everybody's going to be moving. To Wade Petrie, the second baseman. He has also spent some time on the mound. Carson Hebert trying to get the big third out. The 3-2. Foul ball, and we'll do it over. in the top of the 6th inning. A hush comes over the crowd as everybody just kind of exhales. Both fan bases waiting to explode. Three balls and 2 strikes. Hebert will step off. And he's going to shift, I think, from the windup to the stretch for this 3-2. And he'll step off. Now will he shift back to the windup? He will. The 3-2. Line drive right at him! And that'll end the inning. Listen to the crowd. It was a ball hit right on the button, but Evan Duplantis was right there. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. CCA has an 8-5 lead. They're 3 defensive outs away from Sulphur, but now they're trying to get greedy and add some runs to their tally. Let's pay some bills here on Bayou Sports. Let's thank Mima's Cajun Cuisine. Mima, I love you. Lasagna Wednesday. The best chicken and sausage gumbo in town. Abby's a big favorite of the hamburger steak. Get some extra rolls. We love Mima's Cajun Cuisine. We also want to thank, Terrebonne General Health System and the Community Sports Institute. We thank them so much for their support. If you're in need of some legal counsel, consider the law office of Jure Jean Bonjaro, LLC. She's an attorney. She's also a notary. 985-693-3308 or jure.jambon@gmail.com. Give her a call today. Dufresne Building Materials. Experience the Dufresne difference with so many locations around the area to take care of your needs. Joe Septic on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for all your fencing and septic needs. Your car shopping, give a ring to our friends at Golden Motors, where price is priority in Cutoff, Louisiana. GoldenMotors.com. Let's go back to the live camera. They're singing and dancing here. Sweet Caroline rocking and rolling. Brennan Champagne will stand in to lead off the 6th inning with an 8-5 ball game. CCA wants to get greedy. They want to add on. You just faced a Sacred Heart offense that loaded the bases the last inning. That's low, 1-0. The pitcher out there is, I believe it's still Schneider. There's a called strike, 1-1. And it is still Schneider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outside, 2-1. For those of you just tuning in, first and foremost, shame on you. But secondly, it was 5-1 Sacred Heart. As this one's hit in the air to left. That's gone back a long way. That's gone. That is a solo home run off the bat of Brennan Champagne. The crowd going crazy. And look at those CCA players at home plate going crazy. It's 9-5. An absolute tidal wave of momentum. The Lions have come out firing. And it's now 9-5 as Tristan Rogers will stand in.
Number 3, Tristan Rogers.
I really hope you guys at home could hear, as that's why I'd want to know how loud it is here. These CCA fans are making a bunch of noise. That's outside 2-0. And I'm just throwing this out there. I know it's early in the inning. I know there's a whole lot more work to do. If CCA has another 7-run inning, we're going home. It'll be 15-5. And there's no promises that won't happen here with the way that they're swinging right now and the way that Sacred Heart isn't throwing strikes. Rogers ahead in the count, sees it low, 3-0. And there's a strike, and it's 3-1. Rogers throws the bat, but he's going to have to get back into the box. Congratulations to Central Catholic of Morgan City. They're going to Sulphur. They get an 8-3 win over Riverside Academy. As there's a swing and strike, 3-2. They, of course, are in the same district as Covenant Christian. The 3-2 fouled, and it'll stay full. The solo home run from Champagne a second ago added a run to the Lions' tally. The Trojans are trying to get a first out in the inning. Schneider delivers a little bloop shot that's going to be gloved. Nope, not gloved. Under the glove, and then he throws it away off the bag. When things are going your way, they're going your way. And CCA will add another base runner. Just under the glove of the second baseman out there, Petrie. And now Luke will stand in. Shows bunt, pops it up. Whoa, boy, did he hang on? No, he dropped it. A diving effort there by the third baseman who collided with the wall out there. Unbelievable hustle by Ellis Fuselier out there, and it is a strike, 0-1. But, boy, talk about sacrificing your body. That is one heck of an effort there by Fuselier. Loop will show bunt. He's going to get it down. The pitcher will field and will get it to first. It's a clean sacrifice. But now that CCA's out in front, they're able to play offense the way that they want to play. And that's small ball getting guys on, moving them over. As Evan Duplantis will stand in. The Lions lead 9-5. 8 straight runs have been scored by the Lions. That's high, 1-0. Duplantis has been hit twice and has an RBI hit. That's hit hard to right, but right at the right fielder who will squeeze it. Runner backs up and heads back to second, and there's 2 away. Now Kason Perry will stand in. Ladala batted in the 5th, but Perry re-entered, and now he'll stand in and try to deliver a base hit. That's wide, 1-0. Huge spot here. Sacred Heart can't afford to give up any more. The 1-0. That's a called strike, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike to Kason Perry. Breaking pitch, wide, 2-1. On deck is Mason Dudek. They have not gotten him out yet. He's walked all 3 times he's come up. The 2-1. Low and in the dirt, 3-1. As that wind continues to whip from right to left field here. The flag that was once sitting on its pole is now parched. That's high, and it's a 2-out walk. Dudek will stand in. Dudek does not have an official at bat in the game, but he has 2 RBI. He has walked all 3 times. Prairie Lions team looking to add on. The pitch, that is chopped to the shortstop. Will glove it. Got to make a long throw. Got him by a step, and that will retire the side. CCA is 3 outs from going to Sulphur, folks. They have a 9-5 lead. We're going to keep the stadium sound rolling, but we're going to go ahead and pause the camera for just a second. Play-by-play guy needs a little sip of water here. We're going to the 7th inning here on Bayou Sports. It was 3-2 E.D. White last I heard. All right, let's do this. Let's go to the 7th inning here. It is going to be Carson Abear facing Swallow, Fuchs, and Fusilier. CCA is 3 outs away from another trip to Sulphur. Abear trying to slam the door shut. Central Catholic of Morgan City has punched their ticket to Sulphur with an 8-3 win over Riverside Academy. Have not gotten an update in a while from Vanderbilt and E.D. White. Hopefully we could get one before we get off the air here. Abear would love to deliver strike one here. Instead, it's inside 1-0. To Swallow. They called strike 1-1. My apologies for the wind blowing the iPad off track, and it's 1-1. Here's the pitch. Inside corner for strike 1-2. Just get the feeling that Abear is locked into a groove right now on the mound. Let's see if he could get a big first out. It would be a State Bank strikeout. The 1-2. Outside, and it's 2-2. Sacred Heart needs base runners. CCA needs outs. Something's got to give. The 2-2. Got him. That's a State Bank strikeout. One away. Let's play the graphic to make it official. But there's one away. Fuchs will stand in. Abear is locked in on the mound. He is trying to get his team to Sulphur. Outside 1-0. If CCA is successful, their next game will be Tuesday night in Southwest Louisiana, and that one hit him. So there's a base runner for Sacred Heart. Fusilier will stand in. Fusilier has gotten a base hit. He's drawn a walk, and he's grounded out to short. A ground out to short right here might do it. The pitch is a called strike, 0-1. It's a Covenant Christian team that has one senior. That is Tristan Rogers. The resiliency to come back from 4 runs down with just one senior is unbelievable. That's outside 1-1. Now, of course, Sacred Heart gave them a lot of help, issuing some walks and different things, but CCA gave Sacred Heart some help in the early stages with some errors. The 1-1. That's low, 2-1.
Good eye out.
2 balls and 1 strike. Bear with a runner at first. That guy doesn't mean a whole lot. The pitch is up and maybe a little out, 3-1. Base runners are the name of the game for Sacred Heart right now. They need a bunch more of them. They need a few more. Fusilier ahead in the count, the 3-1. And he walked him, and there's 2 on. Things are getting tense. And now, how big was it that CCA got out of that bases loaded jam in the 6th? Because this whole inning could look a whole lot different, and not for that. Schneider will stand in. Schneider has 2 hits in the game. He's their 8-hole, but he sure doesn't swing it like an 8-hole. Bear's pitch. Called strike, 0-1. The 0-1 is by the catcher. They'll throw behind him at first, but he's in safe. No advance for the runners, and it'll be 1-1 at the plate. Schneider is the pitcher on record for Sacred Heart, and frankly, he saved the game for them. He has been the only reliever today that has thrown strikes and has gotten outs. The 1-1 fouled into the screen, and it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Can it be a second State Bank strikeout of the inning? Let's find out together, shall we? Boyce Schneider trying to stay alive. Bear trying to get a second out. It is by the catcher, and everybody's going to advance 90 feet. So he spiked a breaking ball and then threw it by Trosclair, and that allows the runners to advance. The runners at second and third really don't mean a whole lot, but if Sacred Heart could keep getting some base runners, it could be big later on. Boyce Schneider with a 2-2 count. Fouled into the screen, and we'll do it again. If you're CCA, you would take a ground ball and you would trade a run for an out here without question. Anything that gets you an out here is something that CCA would want. If you're Schneider, you're just looking to get on base and send the tying runner to the plate. The 2-2 from Bear. Break and pitch wide, and it's full. Have a final score from the E.D. White Vanderbilt game after this 3-2. And he walked them, and the bases are loaded. E.D. White has won game 1 of the best-of-3 series with Vanderbilt 6-2. So the Cardinals get a win over the Terriers, and they lead 1-0 in that series. Here, things are getting tense. Landon LeBlanc will stand in. He is the tying run in the game. He's the 9-hole hitter. He struck out twice. Bear's pitch, low, 1-0. The problem right now for the Lions is throwing strikes. You've hit a batter and you've walked 2. That's up, 2-0. You are pitching yourself into a pickle here if you are CCA. Bear trying to find the release point. That is a called strike, 2-1. The bases are full of Trojans in the top of the 7th inning. You want to get the 9-hole out, but the top of the order's lurking. There's a called strike. It's 2-2. A State Bank strikeout here would make them go nuts in Homa. Hebert looking into the mid of the catcher, the 2-2. Got him! That is a State Bank strikeout, and CCA is now 1 out away from going to Sulphur. Deschatel will stand in, the leadoff batter with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Hebert with a force at every bag. Hebert delivers. There's a strike, 0-1. Let's see if throwing strike 1 to get him to exhale a little bit. The crowd making some noise. They're fired up. That one spiked and blocked by the catcher, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike to Hayden Deschatel, the shortstop, trying to keep his season alive. Outside, 2-1. The 2 outs in the inning have both come via strikeouts. All of the base runners in the inning have come via free passes, the 2-1. Has a called strike and they're 1 strike away. Listen to this crowd. They're getting fired up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carson Hebert delivers. Chopped to the mound. He goes home. CCA's going to Sulphur. The Lions get a 7-run inning that propels them to the semifinals, and CCA slams the door and gets a 9-5 win over Sacred Heart in an outstanding high school baseball game. At the end of the day, it was the CCA pitching depth that made a big difference. Joe used 3 of his arms, and they were able to push their ticket forward into the semifinals. I thank you guys so much as we watch and enjoy the fireworks show. What a better way to sign off than just like that. Thanks for watching. This is why we do what we do. Congratulations to CCA and Sulphur. Congratulations to all of our other local teams. Casey Gisclair getting the free sauce here as we sign off. Good night, everybody.